everyone, this is Chuck and welcome to Chuck's Diecast and Model Reviews. Today I'm going to be looking at this car. This is a Renault RE20. This was a Formula One car raced by, of course, the Renault team back in 1980. The reason why I got this car is because I think it is a gorgeous car. I mean, it wasn't hugely successful. I think it won 3 races. René Arnoux won 2 races, and Jean-Pierre Jabouille, I think that's how you pronounce his name, won 1 race with this car in that season. But I believe it's a gorgeous car, and this is the first model I've ever bought by Exoto. This one is in 1/18 scale, and I did want to get one of these because the Exoto does make some very nicely detailed models, and I never had one and I wanted to see what they were all about. But this particular car, I mean, I love it. It is beautiful. It is a part of the ground effects and turbo era of the early 1980s. In fact, Renault were the first Formula One team to actually use turbocharged engines in their cars, and the first team to actually win a race with a turbocharged car. So that is Renault's claim to fame from back in that era. But for me, one thing that it reminds me of is back in that day, back around 1980, when I was a kid, I was reading a book that had an article in there about the aerodynamics of Formula One cars, talking about, you know, ground effects and side skirts and all this sort of stuff. And there was this one picture of this particular car, and it was a close-up of the rear aspect of this vehicle, and I just loved this sort of secondary rear wing on the back. I just thought that was gorgeous. So let's go ahead and take a look at this model a little bit further, okay? Now, looking at this thing, I mean, like I said, this is sort of just an absolutely beautiful model, okay? Decals are excellent. The tires sort of have this dimpled effect on them, showing the mold marks of the tires, and you can see here that they are actually Michelin's there, so of course, because it's a French car, French company, so they needed French tires. The decals, like I said, are beautiful on here. The chrome on the front and rear wing, excellent. The vents for the radiators and the heat extractor, I would guess, for the engine there. Gorgeous again. And so, yeah, no complaints whatsoever about the external appearance of this car. The other thing about this car that is different from pretty much all of the other Formula One models that I have is that the top comes off, showing so you can get a better look at the engine and the interior. This is die-cast metal, by the way, because I believe this particular model itself is more than 20 years old. I can't say for certain, though. But let's go ahead and take a look at this interior here, huh? Now you can see, taking a look at the interior, if you were the driver of this car, your feet would be right there in front of the front axle. So basically your feet are part of the crush structure of the car if it gets in a front-end collision. That's not allowed anymore, of course. The front roll bar, that's nicely done. You can even see the linkage for the steering wheel. That is great. Steering wheel itself, of course, is far simpler than modern Formula One car steering wheels. It looks like there are actually literally no buttons on the steering wheel. You can see that yes, it has a manual transmission there as well. So this is, of course, before the days of paddle shift. The radiators here, although they're not deeply detailed, they are detailed and look pretty good there as well. And let's go ahead and take a look at this motor here, because again, this is really nicely done. The Renaults had 1.5 liter V6s and were twin turbocharged. 1.5 liters was actually the maximum displacement that you could have for turbocharged cars in the day. Regularly aspirated or normally aspirated cars were allowed to have 3-liter engines. So that was the difference between normally aspirated and turbocharged engines back in the day. You can see the turbos here. There are 2 of them, one on either side. From what I understand, the total horsepower was about 520, I believe. I'm sure the advantage of this car over the other non-turbocharged cars back in the day was the fact that the engine itself was so much smaller than other cars, and therefore there was a weight distribution advantage to these small engines. And so but the turbos, of course, did bring them up to the same rough horsepower. The suspension here, you can see, is nicely done as well. It's not like a working suspension or anything, but it is still looks good. And then when it comes to the underside of the car, you'll see what a modern Formula One car does not have, and that is these Venturi tunnels here, which are inverted wings that could basically suck the car down to the ground. The other thing that you see on these cars are these. These are skirts on the side to block air from coming in from the side, and of course improve that downforce caused by the Venturis. And these are also rub strips that prevent the sliding rubber skirts from wearing away before the end of the race. So that is pretty much it for this model here. By the way, here's the underside of this thing here. I would imagine that this would have probably been made of aluminum honeycomb back in the day, but I can't say for certain. But there you go. This is the Renault RE20 and by Exoto. I am hopeful that you did enjoy this video and will watch my other videos. If you did like it, of course, please click like on there and watch my other videos. Have a great day.